East Podcast, WATP.
Frenchie Hanna is the host
This is my favorite one.
Pure Genuine. And Pure Genuine put out their third episode. Now, we played clips of her talking about fashion and colored jeans.
Oh, yeah.
We all remember
That was intense.
We all remember that. Well, for episode 3, she has a guest. And her guest is once again Rio, the bearded lady.
Someone is finally sitting in that other chair.
Yes, the chair is being used.
Her name is Rio, and she dresses like she's men.
Yeah, so this is the intro to get us started on this.
Welcome to Pure Genuine, where we dive into authentic experience like never before. Yes, 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 yes. Do you like that? Do you like that?
Yeah, that was nice.
Okay, good. If you're new or not, it's me, Frenchie Hanna, and I have a special guest right here. I have Rio right here.
If you're new or not, my name is Frenchie Hanna.
Those are your choices.
That's it. It makes sense.
I love that one sentence in, she's like, is that good? Am I doing good?
Yeah, I know.
I said the name of the show. Did I do good?
I can't imagine not saying, cut, let's just start over again. I'm sorry. I'm out of it. Because there is editing.
There is an editor.
Yes.
Someone else is involved with this.
Well, Frenchie claims to edit it herself.
Okay.
Which is even crazier with the shit she leaves in. Because it's embarrassing. Because if I was sitting there in the edit bay, I'd be like, well, let's get rid of that. I look like an idiot here and there. Let's get rid of all of this.
Who gave Frenchie the note that she needs spinach on the walls?
Yeah, I know. That's a weird thing, too. They just added that. It looks like Wrigley Field's outfield.
Right.
And none of the lamps are on.
It could be. That's another good point. You're right.
There's just lamps.
Ambiance. All right. So let's get into the first question for our guest, because if there's one thing that Frenchie does well, it's interview people.
Oh, God,
And
I love it.
Rio was on the Kiki podcast, which was the show that Frenchie did before this show, which I think was the same show, but had a different name and a different poster, if I'm not mistaken, because I can't really tell any other differences. But so this is a return guest, so very exciting.
Rio, can you let them know a little bit about yourself, the ones I don't know, and the ones, just a reminder to the people that have been here. You just been switched over to Pure Genuine. It was once called Kiki Podcast. Now it's Pure Genuine. Just let them know a little bit about yourself.
I don't know why she never stops talking. Yeah. That's where she fucks up. When she doesn't ever end the sentence.
Brevity is the soul of wit.
Yes. So tell us about yourself. You know, the ones that I know already, but also the stuff that we don't know because you've been on the show before and people have seen that. Maybe they haven't.
But the show used to be called a different thing.
Because the show was
but
a
now
different
it's called
name.
A new thing.
It's on the same
anyway,
channel.
no one's
ever watched it. We have 20 subscribers. I don't know why I'm explaining all of this to you.
My mom's watching. Anyway, your name is.
So then Rio starts talking about, and Rio is good at this. Rio knows how to talk about her cause and what she's into. And if you forgot about Rio, we covered her on WATP. We did a spirituality podcast, but then I covered her TikTok on Who Are These Socials. And she's an asshole. Yeah. Because
I wish somebody'd cover her midriff.
I can't cover everything. Just one man. So on the TikTok, we played a video of her getting into a fake conversation with a friend who's no longer her friend because she's non-binary now. And it was like one of these things is just like, and you don't support me. And you didn't use my pronoun that one time 8 months ago. And you're just like, what is going on right now? You're living out this revenge fantasy live on TikTok. Like, do that shit in the mirror and then never do it again. Don't do it on TikTok.
Yeah, she told a fake story on what we covered on WATP also.
Correct. Yes. The question of, are you a boy or a girl?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's something woke dad would have
Right. Are you a boy or girl? And then I said, yeah, I am. And they said, no, are you a boy or girl? And I'm like, uh-huh. It's like that. No one asks 3 times in a row. No one asks 1 time in a row.
No, she rehearsed that in the mirror.
Yes. All right. So this is what Rio's been up to. And I hope no one's eating right now.
Oh.
You can probably see me all around the community and sometimes on national platforms creating change and spreading my ladyboy spunk all over the place. And I'm just really excited to be here.
You weren't kidding.
Yes, nice.
Spreading my ladyboy spunk all over the place.
And I
And
think Stuttering
Frenchie's
John had some of that on his shirt.
A fresh batch.
and Frenchie's reaction is nice. Not
yeah. Not gross.
yes. That sounds awful. Why would you do that to people?
You guys.
It's a civilized society. Why would you do that? All right. So now question number 2. We heard question number 1. Wasn't great. Question number 2, maybe worse. You would think, I don't do an interview style podcast. Patrick, I don't know if you've ever done one before.
Yeah. I
So
have.
you really have like questions written down. You might
Yeah,
not
you
like
prepare.
You don't stick to them because you want to let the conversation go where it's going to go. But the first couple, you should like know where you're going with that. Should be
Right.
pretty easy to do.
You know, pure genuine conversations, you know, genuine experiences, and just doing genuine things outside of this too. That is pure genuine. And it all comes back to we're here.
Absolutely.
Pure genuine. So
Good point.
the topic that we are going to talk about is
The following.
anti-trans and queer. Right?
Yes.
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 Again, she needs approval.
I got to say, Joe Biden was better communicating on Howard Stern than Frenchie Hanna is.
Right.
It's incredible. And I always come back to this, but if you don't know how to talk to people, then why are you putting yourself through this? You don't have to have a YouTube show. No one's
Right.
forcing you to do this. She's got a multi-camera shoot set up with lighting and everything. And it's like you can't communicate. Yeah. All right. So then we finally get a question out. Now that we've just determined we're talking about anti-trans and queer. Okay, great. Let's get into it.
Yeah,
And
I love the question.
this is a really easy question to answer. Anyone would know how to answer this.
So tell me a little bit about that. What do you think about what's going on right now in the community and other communities are looking in at, you know, LGBT and what they want and don't want and what is what do
they
you
want?
think about it right now?
Well,
What do y'all want?
It's such a broad question, but I'm gonna make sure that I try to pull it in.
I know that's what happened last time when I had you for the Kiki podcast. I said like 3 questions in one. And I was just like, why did I do that? I thought about it afterwards, and I was like, but at least you answered it though. Yeah.
No, she didn't.
No. She goes, I thought about it. I didn't correct anything. I didn't make any adjustments in life, but I thought about what a terrible interview it was last time, and now I'm picking up right where I left off.
Nor did I edit this thought process out
Right.
of the final product.
So Patrick, maybe you can answer this. What are your thoughts about like the queer community and anti-trans and gun legislation and the upcoming elections and the Ukraine
And what
war?
y'all want?
And,
And the meaning of life.
yeah, go. And keep it under 15 seconds. We got to keep things
such a
moving.
broad question. Well, at least you answered it.
Now, one of the things that I was talking about with Frenchie is a thing known. I've coined this phrase, pronoun panic, because the last time she had Rio on the show, she goes, and you can find their links, their links, right? Is that the right thing? Like you can see the panic that's set in, because that's what happens with non-binary people. You don't know how to talk to them. They get very upset if you do it wrong.
Yes,
So-
but in fairness, she did panic about her intro today. She went, "Welcome to the show." Is that okay? Like,
know,
she
I know.
might just be,
There's
she
a
might
lot
just
of
be panicky about everything.
There's a lot of panicking going on, and she slips up here, and I wouldn't want to be around Rio after I said this sentence.
You know what's crazy? I was at this lounge and this non-binary person, that's how they identify themselves, and they were saying if it's not in the white eyes of things.
But wait, what was that?
What?
Why did you do non-binary person? What was that for?
So she's doing the quote marks. When she said non-binary, she goes, wait, why did you do quote marks on non-binary? And you know Frenchie's going to be quick with an answer. Like, well, what I meant by that.
Let me clarify.
It's just like, I don't know like how they want it to be, but it's like it's always different.
Did you ask?
Huh?
Did you ask?
Yeah. So
Yeah,
it was
don't
just
ask me
like
again.
it was like going back and forth. So that's why I said non-binary. So I just know that's like the most broadest thing that's out right now. So I'm just saying, just flat out non-binary.
I don't think Frenchie knows what non-binary means.
I don't think so either.
No.
How do you know it was non-binary? Did you ask? What did I do? What now? Did you ask? Yeah, of course I asked. Yeah, that's the
Also,
point thing to do, right?
If
Yeah.
there's no follow-up questions, yes.
Yes, then correct.
Also, that's the broadest thing that's out. Like, I know we've progressed pretty far, but I'm pretty sure most people still identify as a man or a woman.
Right. Yeah, I don't think she knows how words work in her sentences.
Yeah, this is the person that was outraged that people accused her either of being retarded or on drugs or both.
Right. Yeah.
And then she says stuff like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it got back
Where
to
did
her.
they get off?
Like, so I've never hung out with people and done heroin or had people doing heroin around me. I assume this is what it's like.
Yeah.
Right? The people just get real comfortable and start trailing off. Just me, like, and this is like,
Yeah.
it's groovy.
The opposite of doing blow.
Right.
That's what I picture.
That's what I assume. So this is Frenchie. I don't know what the fuck Frenchie is talking about here. Fortunately for me, neither does Frenchie on this. This is just rambling nonsense.
If it's not in the white like eyes or didn't say just like this, but just like in the white spectrum, it's just like it's not gonna go. And I was just like, what the heck? And that made me feel like so uncomfortable. And I was just like, huh?
So wait, I'm confused. What is it that they said? They were saying in the wide.
Yeah, like how you see things in the white eyes, or like being non-binary and in the laws of attraction of things, or what you see within society. It's just like, that's just what it is. And it's just like, huh? I was like, yeah.
I do think that the world is changing.
So I brought it to that point because there's a hard edit right there. So for some reason, Frenchie, whoever's editing this, left in all of this nonsense. It's like that part at the end of Billy Madison where like none of those incoherent thoughts were anything.
And we're all stupider for
You
having
made
listened to
0
this.
points just now. Like, what the fuck? Law of attraction and white eyes. What?
I started laughing because it reminded me of like asking ChatGPT something and having it spit back completely wrong nonsense, and you're just asking it the same question again to try to get the right answer. That's what she did. She goes, "Okay, now hold on. What do you mean by?" She had to just ask the same question again.
Well, watch this edit too, because there's no way, like, cut all of this out, Frenchie.
Society, it's just like, that's just what it is. And it's just like, huh? I was like, yeah.
I do think that the world is changing.
And that's what I was like, you could have just cut right to Rio saying, I do think that the world is changing. And that would have been a fine place to pick up the conversation from.
Yeah, what happened in there?
I don't know.
That's where Rio just slapped her.
I mean, I'm offended.
Makes some sense.
I'm offended at you calling this a conversation.
Yeah, that is offensive to conversations.
Well, I watched this entire episode. And the reason why I did is because it's my job, but also because I wanted to find out what Rio was talking about in this clip right here.
I think we should talk about the elephant in the room.
You know, we gotta make people feel uncomfortable.
She goes, I think we should talk about the elephant in the room. And then
They can see me?
Yes. Frenchie interrupts Rio, and they never addressed the elephant ever again. I wanted to know what the fucking elephant was. I was very confused by that. But did you hear what Frenchie said at the end? It's important that we make people feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
We gotta make people feel uncomfortable.
We gotta make people feel uncomfortable. Cool. That sounds like a good
the
strategy.
Mandate of the show.
Yes. It's working. You're killing it. So then this next clip I'm about to play you blew me away. This is our third time checking in on Frenchie. I did a little bit of a deep dive last time because I was checking out older podcasts and newer podcasts. And we had a debate early on with Frenchie. And I pretty much came to the conclusion that no, Frenchie was assigned female at birth.
Oh.
Well, was she?
And it's new for me too. A lot of this stuff, you know, it's like, cause I be so away and be like doing other stuff where like I don't be knowing what's going on, even though I'm trans as well. I'm trans. I'm transgender woman. You know, I'm a woman of trans experience. You know, but
I'm wondering if now I want to get your guys' take on it, but I'm wondering if Frenchie's panicking because she's saying all the wrong things and the non-binary person's getting very upset. She's like, you know, I'm trans, just so you know. I mean, listen, maybe I said a couple of things that were weird and I shouldn't have, but I also have a shield, so you can't get mad at me. I don't know. What was your thought when you first saw Frenchie? Did you think she was trans?
I think when you leave a loaf of bread in the oven that long and it gets cooked for that long, you can't tell what kind of bread it was. And that's not, I'm not, this is not a racial joke that she's burnt.
No,
I'm
I
saying
know.
her brain is cooked.
Yes.
That's how I would describe it. She's cooked. She clearly was on or is on something like heavily, like a hard narcotic, meth, crack, something. So I can see Chappelle like playing her as a crackhead, and I can see it like I can see a dude taking off that wig and being a dude with that voice.
Yes, that's what I thought initially. But then the first time she talked to Rio, she didn't know anything about trans people. So I was like, oh, okay, this is definitely a woman. I didn't realize that. And actually, we had Earl David Reed on when we reviewed this, and EDR also thought it was just a woman.
Yeah,
What did you think, Chris?
I still think it's a dude.
Okay, well, apparently, and honestly, I'd say the jury's still out on this one. I can't come to a strong conclusion based on a clip I'm going to play in just a moment.
Yeah,
These people say things in weird coded language like, I have had a trans experience.
Right.
Like, it's like, what are you saying?
I'm not a trans woman, but I am a woman who is trans. You're like, wait, what? Okay.
Yeah.
No further questions. You confused me enough.
I really don't care as long as Frenchie keeps the show going.
Yeah, no, I know. I don't care either. I'm just very confused. I think Frenchie's confused too.
Yeah.
I want to find out just so I can tell Frenchie what's going on.
That's why they
my
always
goal.
want to talk about it. They don't even know.
Right. All right. So this is insane because Frenchie is definitely brain dead.
So I think it's really important to bring education into the forefront, which is why I dedicate a lot of my life to educating people about stuff like this.
Oh, did you let them know that you're an educator?
I did. I think I let them know a couple times.
That's hilarious. When Rio introduces himself, Rio always says, I'm a performer, I'm an entertainer, and I'm an educator. And that's like one of the big things is getting the spunk all over the U.S., the ladyboy spunk. I think that's the education part of things, if I'm not mistaken. And Fred's just like, oh, yeah. Yes. Did you bring up education? She's like, yeah, I think I did. She even looked at the camera like, gonna load this
That's
fucking
what I mean.
time.
Like she's so cooked, she doesn't have the listening skill.
Right.
And even if she did, she wouldn't have the retention skill to like be able to call that back up and expound on it and connect it with another thought or like, I mean, just it's wild.
She can't recall the beginning of her sentence.
Correct.
Right.
She forgets where she started. That's a good point. We see that many times. So I don't have a ton of Rio talking because Frenchie's fascinating to me, but here's an example of Rio trying to push the conversation along. And I'm not sure if Rio's doing this on purpose to fuck with Frenchie, because there's no way that Frenchie would know what she's talking about here.
I feel like we're doing the Charles Xavier focus quest.
Charles Xavier?
Yeah, you know how he was like him versus Magneto. Charles was like, oh, mutants can be coinciding with humans one day. I feel like not to be funny, but I feel like trans individuals or LGBT queer people, it can be considered mutants.
So
if anyone else says that, Rio's pissed.
Charles Xavier, do you know what she's talking about there?
Yeah.
Okay, Professor X.
I have a little X-Men knowledge.
Okay. So that was a reference to X-Men.
Yeah.
Professor, you knew that too?
Even producer Chris knew that. That's amazing.
You know for a fact, Frenchie's not going to know that shit. Yeah. And Rio doesn't even explain it.
No.
Which is also hilarious right there. It's just like, it's kind of like Charles Xavier. Charles Xavier?
She expects people to know Magneto, but worst? Frenchie's going like, right.
right.
She's out of it.
She's completely out of it. But my takeaway on this, tell me if I'm crazy. So Rio says, I think trans people can be considered mutants. And I think the reason why he's saying that is because it makes him special. A lot of the people in this community, not all, a lot of people in this community just want to be special. Yeah. They want to be different. Hey, look at me. I'm trans over here.
They might pretend to have a stutter.
They might pretend to have a stutter.
Something like that.
Yeah. They might claim to be non-binary. It's one of the things they do. But that kind of proves it right there, where Rio is looking at X-Men and being like, oh, I'm just like Wolverine. Like, well, not really. Wolverine's kind of badass.
Well, you got the mutant part right.
Yeah, you got the beard part down.
Yeah, the superpowers.
That's about it.
It's like, I always used to, in college, I always used to feel like fat girls. This is going to be bad. I always used to feel like fat girls would like dye their hair purple or get a ton of piercings and stuff because they wanted there to be something else about them.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
No.
Like, no, I'm the girl with the unicorn stickers all over my car. I'm like, you're the girl who weighs 3 bills. That's what you are.
I'm just really into horses. Like, that's not what we know about you. I'm sorry. Look at how many you draw in your notebook.
Yeah.
No, you can take a Clydesdale. We believe that.
You're actually not allowed to sit on one.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so this is great because now it's your turn to talk, Frenchie. So Rio just stops talking, and now Frenchie's like, oh, shit. It's my turn. You know, you're right. This is not a conversation. There's nothing even close to resembling a conversation.
There's no communication going on.
No.
I feel like it's important to always be somebody who decides to speak up, even if it makes you uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
You should be an educator.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's just people out there that's just like that. They just see it and like, okay, well, what does that got to do with me?
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Yeah, so
this is like Keith Richards in the 70s.
Yeah.
When you're trying to interview him. He's like, you here, Keith? Are you with us, buddy?
This is
Stay
like
with
Ray
us here.
DeVito yesterday.
It's like Ray DeVito podcasting.
Rio's being kind of patient with Frenchie.
Yeah.
I want to know how they met.
I want
It's
to know.
amazing.
Well, they talk about how they met at a pride parade.
Oh, okay.
I think I might have that clip. But I want to know why Rio put himself through this again.
Right.
You know,
Just to educate, I guess.
Yeah, I guess it's a big platform. I guess it makes sense.
What are their numbers? Do they get numbers?
I'm joking.
No.
There's no numbers at all. It's just us. It's just us watching.
No, they're ignorant. That's ignorant.
So now Frenchie is very uncomfortable, as we can all see. This is not a topic that Frenchie wants to talk about. It's not a person you want to have a conversation with about anything serious. So now Frenchie's going to try to talk about how the fact that the way that the camera is, their shoes are not in frame. The shoes are not making it into the shot. And for some reason, Frenchie decides that's what's important to talk about.
So, can't see no shoes.
I know. I wore these bomb shoes for y'all, and I can't even have them looked. It's okay, because I'll probably do a photo before, I leave. So that.
All right, I'm not up on the LGBTQ slang. I can't even have them looked.
Yeah, that's what they say.
Is that what they're saying?
That's what
now?
mutants say.
Yeah, we leave all the we just leave words off sentences. You get it. You get it. A lot of
'Cause
people
I'll
are saying
do a photo before, I leave. So that way I can get a full frame of the look. But it's very cute nonetheless. But aside from basically the heaviness of
Well, before you say that,
So Frenchie, Rio immediately, okay, stop talking about shoes. He almost got me. I'm not totally a girl. He almost got me. I'm not talking about my shoes for the next 20 minutes. Let's get back into this conversation about non-binary and whatever. And so Frenchie, who normally doesn't talk when she's the one talking, interrupts Rio right here. It's like, oh shit, we're going to get serious again.
the heaviness of
well, before you say that, there's people in the community that don't know what's going on with the laws or other people's walk of life because they're getting accepted in different rooms
What?
They get accepted in different rooms? What?
There's people that don't know about laws or other people's walk of life.
Yeah, you following that?
Well, God, I forgot I was on my Mac.
You just did the balloon thing. I just learned about this thing. It's so fucking embarrassing.
Wait, how do you get that one? Whoa, I just had twinkles.
Devil horns.
Oh, yeah. That's...
Get you the sweet rock lighting laser show.
What does this do?
That'd be incredible. There's two guys there.
Nothing. Yeah, two guys
What
appear.
is the shocker deal? Anything?
Yeah, what is the shocker? This is so dumb. Back to the conversation, because this is obviously educational. And we need to get back to what is going on here. And this one's a fun clip because we have no idea what Frenchie's talking about. Frenchie doesn't know. Rio doesn't know. I don't know.
Like straight people would, you know, I don't know if I said that correctly, but you know,
You said it the best way you knew how.
because
That's so condescending right there. Did I say that correctly? Definitely not, but what are you going to do? Limited vocabulary.
Yeah.
You're Frenchie.
Okay. So there's the question is, what do you mean by straight people room? Because at some point, Frenchie's talking about, you know, straight people have the straight people room.
I can understand.
Here's the
What do
thing.
you mean by straight people rooms? Like, what is these rooms you speak of?
straight people room is there's nobody gay in the room.
Can you dumb it down for me, Frenchie?
Fuck. Have you ever been in a straight people room, Chris? No, you haven't. Boom, zinged. It got you good.
Consider myself told off.
Yeah. Okay.
How does she know what they are?
Right.
Right.
You've
good
never
point.
been in one.
Well, Rio follows up the question because I guess, you know, when I was growing up, we all knew what gay meant. We all knew what being gay meant. Now it's very confusing. So Rio follows up with, how do you even know if someone's gay or not?
And what is gay?
Gay is
Oh, no. This is like an eight-year-old doing a book report.
here's my thing with gay is
Like, if I'm in that room, would I be considered one of the gay people in the room?
Yes. You're a bearded
gayest.
lady. Yes.
Right.
you know, many
I'm not sure. Let me smell your breath.
I'd be watching out for P.T. Barnum with a net.
Yes.
different walks of life would probably say that. Others won't. Others just wouldn't care.
But what would you say?
Well, if I didn't know you at all, I would probably say gay.
Really?
If I never ever seen you,
why
met
is
you,
that?
because I never met you, I don't know who you are.
So why gay?
Because that's just what it's given.
Tell
I'm
me
gonna
why.
be honest. I don't know how your holes
Because
work.
Yeah, right.
the things your body language, the way you speak, the
Digging and digging and digging.
Just tell me the answer, please.
Right. I would hate to have a bearded lady say, do you think I'm gay? I'm like, fuck, there's no way to answer this correctly.
Can I just write your organization a check?
Yeah, right.
Yes. What do I owe you for not knowing the answer to that question? And what classes do I have to attend for the next 8 months? Now that. Okay. So that's a tough one. That's a tough one for Frenchie. But now Frenchie's finally going to stand up for herself.
listen. We have past stories. I've been knowing about the community since I was like 4. Only thing that's new is what's in present moment is non-binary. That's the only thing that's new. Now, I'm saying for other people, there's people that are
Actually, about you though.
Okay. So for some reason, Frenchie says that she knew about gay since she was 4. It's the let me try to translate this.
Please.
It's the non-binary thing that's tripping her up.
Okay.
She's getting real confused about that. And I do understand that because I'll ask it this way. My buddy Patrick Melton is an expert on Knight Melendez. Nice big portrait of him behind him there. Is Knight Melendez gay?
It's I love what Tukey says. Is he went straight the hard way.
Yes, right. That's what I mean. Because Greta was
insane.
gay, but Knight is straight. It's a straight man, right?
He used to be a female who became a male who is now with a female who used to be a male. And it's like, you guys could have just dated.
Yeah.
That's as straight as it gets, though, right there. I would say.
Yeah, I mean, it's the...
But they're like, yeah, but now we're both fucked up and uglier.
That's the kind of commentary we won't have on this show, Patrick Melton.
I'm just saying those two. I'm not saying all of them.
True. Okay, you know what? That's a good point. If we're citing specific examples, then it makes a lot more sense. All right. So this conversation gets very heated at this point. And then we introduce a new term I wasn't familiar with, but I did look this up. It does exist. We can discuss it.
Only, look, people can get clocked, you know?
Clock.
Yes, clocked. But,
People can get clocked. Do you know that one, Patrick?
It's like when you like recognize somebody as being like, oh, that guy's gay. I'm clocking him.
Yep. Okay. So,
Right?
Yeah. So I don't think Frenchie's using that correctly. And Rio gets very upset about this.
you don't know what clock means?
I absolutely know what clock means, but I don't understand how that references.
So some people can get clocked and be like, boom, I already know, straight up. And some people, you just got to find out by conversation.
All right. So here's what the T is, right? Clocked would be so crazy as an ideology to use for a non-binary person, only because we are non-binary.
Made it up.
Clocked would insinuate that you're trying to pass as something, or your objective is to only be seen as one thing.
Clock is, you know what they are.
What am I?
Bearded lady.
You
yes.
are non-binary.
You're beautiful.
Non-binary.
Brave.
The most beautiful, handsome,
Brave, special.
Okay, so
just like how we were at the Pride Festival and we're sitting on that bench or whatever, and that boy came up and he was like, oh my gosh, you're a so beautiful, non-binary person. It's clocked. He clocked that already.
Wow. Busted, Rio.
Yeah.
Tried to argue, but we had a specific example being cited here.
Yeah, right.
This is the dumbest conversation I've heard on a podcast that wasn't taking place at Gebhard's. This is the dumbest conversation between two fucking idiots. And they just can't seem to agree on what clocked means. They agree to disagree. And then Frenchie throws out the funniest thing I've ever heard Frenchie say.
That person's flamboyant. You know, like, just straight up. Already just, like, knowing it straight up. We don't even have to ask. They just know straight up. It's just like when you see, like, somebody, when you're going somewhere, like, that person's a biker.
okay.
It's like that. It's just clocking
I
things.
feel like we have to agree.
Oh, P. Diddy. You know, it's like that. And you just clocked it. Like, oh, P. Diddy did this. Like, before all this happened.
Yeah.
Like, it was like a long time ago or whatever. And we just knew, like, somebody clocked it. Like, oh my gosh, P. Diddy did da 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 da.
I love
You
that.
can always tell. You get like that guy rides Harleys. That guy rides Harley.
Right, yeah, I clocked two in a row right now.
Just like bikers.
That's my favorite
You
thing,
can tell.
though. Like, say you're losing a conversation, you're discussing an important matter, you just go, yeah, but P. Diddy. Yeah. Like, okay, yeah, let's talk about P. Diddy now. That's fun.
Trump.
That sounds good, yeah. Now, speaking of things that I want to start incorporating into my day-to-day conversations, this is a doozy.
Wow, I've learned a lot more about it. But I digress. Keep going.
Yeah, I noticed that in 2014.
I noticed that in 2023.
Oh, I knew that in 2014. 2014, I was like, whoa. I was like, oh, these are some shady mother.
I'm going to start saying that when people are confused by something, I'm like, I knew that shit in 2014. That's what I learned about. You just found that out now? I knew about that shit 2014.
You're 2000 and late.
Yeah, right. I like that. I think I'll be a lot of fun at parties when I start using that.
Well,
He's a little pompous. He thinks he knew everything since 2014. Could have known everything.
Now it's a he?
Yeah.
Some things have changed.
Fucking
Now it's a
Helga
he?
Man over
No,
here.
in my example, I'm talking about people talking about me.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
This is your narcissism creeping
Yes,
out now.
thank
People
you, right.
You're imagining conversations about yourself.
Yeah.
I'm imagining people talking about how amazing I am.
And then people
parties.
will go.
All right, couple more real quick, because this is where Frenchie gets distracted and walks away from the conversation. Rio's still going. Frenchie gets up and walks away.
And the conversation should not be turned on who is trans enough versus who isn't trans enough. It should be about, okay, let's work collectively together so that way our voice is bigger to create safe places for us across the world. People are dying.
Gotta go.
We've had over
What was
400 individuals die from murder over the past 3 years. 400 trans and gender nonconforming individuals. Because, I mean, let's look at the idea of Next Benedict, this 16-year-old who just got killed, who was murdered. A 16-year-old was murdered. And we have...
Oh, yeah, I seen that.
In the conversation...
I seen that.
So a 16-year-old non-binary person was murdered, and Frenchie's so excited that she knows about it. She's like, oh, yeah, I see that. I know what we're talking about right now. It's like, this is actually not a good time to be excited about things in the conversation. What was that, though? She's looking over at the monitor or something.
She slid underneath. She almost like side slid out. And
Underneath
then
the
when she came
microphone,
back,
but
she
not
just
quite.
moved it. But when she comes back, she just moves it. It's
Yeah,
like,
right.
Why
Right.
didn't you just move it to begin with?
It's on a stand. You can just move it around. But it's funny because she gets up. She's looking at the monitor. She gets up. She doesn't change anything. It's not like she moved a camera or turned a light on or something. It's all exactly the same as it was before. But it didn't stop Rio. Rio
They're
can
telling
talk.
us she gotta go, Rio.
So this is how the show ends. It's 31 minutes long. And this is, did you get to the ending of this by any chance, producer
No,
Chris?
but I remember episode 2 ending very abruptly. So.
It's a very abrupt ending.
But a woman of trans experience. And
I love that.
there's the reason why I say that because I can't physically be a woman. So all I know is from being a transgender woman, and all I know is those walks of lives of past, present, all around. That's what I know. I would never know what it really means to have a bladder. I would never know.
That's where it ends.
What?
So did she just say I'll never know what it means to have a bladder?
That's what I heard.
Does he think a bladder is like one gender has them? Maybe prostate? Like what? Hold on. I thought you said.
But she's a man.
Well, yeah. This is what's so confusing. Let's hear this again.
A uterus? She means uterus. She has to.
Oh, maybe she means uterus.
She has to. What else is like a cavernous,
And that's
voluminous thing inside of a woman? I mean, I don't. Vagina.
why it ends there, because that's where Rio's like, what the fuck
out.
are you
Yeah.
fucking talking about?
Annie, who's the expert on this subject, says, Carl, you pee out the babies. Oh, okay. That's what the bladder is for.
That's what I know. I would never know what it really means to have a bladder. I would never know.
Okay. So that's how that one ends.
It's just as funny the
Good
second
stuff.
time.
A bladder or an SD card that can hold the whole show. Those are two things I'll never.
Oh, the fact that there's some editing just blows me away.
Right.
They're changing different camera shots. They're editing different parts of the conversation. And it is utter nonsense.
Yes.
This whole thing, I love Frenchie. Never change, please.
Who are these podcasts?